This video is brought to you by WorldSoccerShop.com, offering the world's largest selection of authentic jerseys and apparel for both club and country. Hey guys, Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com, bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the brand new limited edition Adidas F50 adizero in the tattoo pack colorway. Now, as you guys can see, it does come in the larger drawer-style box from Adidas, as do many of their limited edition releases. You're going to find the hate graphic on one side of the box, the love graphic on the other, and on the top of the box, you're going to find a combination of the two graphics put together. Pull the drawer open, and on the inside, you're going to find that it's divided down the middle. The love side of the box has a red base, the hate side of the box has a purple base, and other than that, all you're going to find inside the box are the shoes themselves. They do not come with a string bag like you would get with the standard retail release colorways of the F50 adizero for whatever reason. I don't know what that reason is, but as you guys can see, that's what is included. So this is the Tattoo Pack F50 adizero, arguably one of the most unique releases that we've seen all year and probably will see for the rest of the year. Really interesting shoe to look at, and of course in today's video we're going to be going over all of the details as far as the colorway and of course the shoes themselves are concerned. So if you're interested in that, please stick around. If you want to see more detailed pictures, check out the review page on my website. It'll be the very first link down below in the description. And as far as getting a pair for yourself is concerned, these were limited to 1,500 pairs worldwide, so they didn't make very many of them at all. They sold out everywhere on the first day of their initial release. So if you are interested in getting a pair, unfortunately you're a little bit late to get them at retail. eBay is your best bet at this point, but expect to pay well over the normal $230 retail price. That's pretty much it as far as the intro for this video is concerned, and with that being said, let's get right into the review. To start things off, let's talk about this very unique and complex colorway on the F50 adizero. Now, it's supposed to look like a tattoo, and the theme here is both love and hate, with the right shoe representing love and the left shoe representing hate, which I think is a great representation of what people's opinions are going to be on this particular colorway. And I want you guys to share your opinions down below in the comments. Do you love these or do you hate these? Now, I will say this, when I saw them in the initial press release, I wasn't a huge fan, and I'm not normally a fan of really bright, flashy shoes. I'm not crazy about one shoe being different than the other, which is obviously what they've incorporated here. Very flashy design. One shoe is different from the other, and they're just really odd looking shoes in general. With that being said, after getting the chance to see these things in person, I can really appreciate the detail and just the thought that went into this particular shoe. Often when you find graphics printed on the upper of a soccer shoe, it just doesn't come out to be as clear as you would like it to be. There's a slight pixelation about it. Obviously, Adidas does have experience with printing graphics on the upper of their shoes, especially the F50. Obviously, they've been doing the Yamamoto series for a number of years. If you've ever seen those in person, they're just extremely impressive in terms of the quality of the graphic, and the tattoo pack here is no different. It really does look like it's been tattooed on somebody's skin. Extremely nice quality, and the graphic, like I said, just looks very impressive. So this is the right shoe, which represents love, and to represent love, they've incorporated a more colorful kind of palette, if you will. There's yellow, there's orange, there's red, there's blues, there's purples, there's whites. It's just a really interesting combination of colors. So the upper, you can see on the front in the toe area, you're going to find an eyeball with a heart in the middle, so that obviously represents love. And then you have what, I don't know, it's like a dragon's tail with a wing or something like that, and that makes a heart as well, if you can look at that shape. You have this kind of more tribal pattern right here at the bottom. Not sure what that's supposed to represent. You have roses here with some thorns coming off, and then obviously these leaves are in white and black. Again, I guess you can see why a rose would represent love. And then moving on to the heel and midfoot, you have this yellow, fades to white, and then you have this kind of flower-like graphic which is kind of white base, black graphic, and then on the heel you can see it switches over to being a black base with a white graphic, and that graphic continues on to the heel, which I think looks really cool. The sole plate is translucent, so the graphic kind of continues on to the base of the shoe. So you have that graphic in the heel, and then it kind of moves into more of a rose in the forefoot, and then of course the back half is clear, the front half is kind of like a translucent red, if you will. Really cool looking shoe. I think the love shoe is definitely a little bit better looking than the hate one. You're going to find black laces. The same graphic is on the tongue on both shoes. That's the only thing that is similar. They both also have the black heel liner as well as the exact same insole with the white graphic on top. Now, as far as the Hate shoe is concerned, it has a skull, which I think is pretty easy to understand how that represents hate. And the skull, like I said, just looks really cool. It has that kind of bone-like aesthetic to it, and it also at the same time has kind of strokes and details that do actually make it look like a tattoo. So you have the teeth going along the toe area. You have, again, somewhat of a tribal graphic in black and red, more black as opposed to red, like you're going to find on the opposite shoe. And the pattern itself is a little bit different. Kind of reminds me of Transformers right here on the front. You are going to find the eyes of the skull, which is a little bit difficult to see on the actual shoe, but that is where the eye sockets would actually be. Then you kind of have these like red feather detailing kind of going around the sides here. You're going to find that the outside of the shoe has this kind of almost peacock looking feather type of graphic with the kind of purple, blue, and green. That's what it reminds me of, at least. Then you have what I guess is like maybe a rattlesnake tail or something like that. I'm not sure what that is. Could be a horn, I suppose. And then you're going to find a similar graphic to what you're going to find on the Love shoe, but at the same time it is a little bit different, as you guys can see. And then this little kind of chunk of white, not sure what that's supposed to be. Again, the graphic continues on to the sole plate. The rear portion of the sole plate is clear, and then the front portion is like a black color, but also has that translucent effect to it. And then again, you have more graphic on the underside of that. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. It's a continuation of something, I suppose, but nonetheless, very, very cool shoe. I like that the graphic is continued along the sole plate as well, something we have never seen on the Yamamoto shoes. And all in all, the quality of the graphic, just the way it looks, the way it actually does look like a tattoo, is just very, very impressive to me. So again, leave your opinions on it down below in the comment section. Do you like how these look? Why or why not? And with that being said, let's move on to the tech specs so we can learn a little bit more about the overall performance. As far as performance is concerned, the Tattoo F50 adizero is a pretty standard 2015 F50, aside from the graphics and some differences in the texturing on the upper. Now, the upper is still made from hybrid touch, which is a synthetic material that is quite thin. It's definitely going to provide more of a barefoot sensation on the ball, which I think is what people would be looking for if you were interested in something like the F50 adizero. It's thin, it's lightweight, but like I said, the texturing on the upper is going to be a little bit different on this particular shoe. If you look at the standard colorway variations of the standard F50, it has a smooth finish to the upper, and then they incorporate their dribble text coating, which is kind of layered on top. It gives it that snakeskin appearance, and to the touch, it's very, very noticeable, and it does provide that little bit of extra grip on the ball. On the Tattoo Pack colorway, as you guys can see, the upper is more or less completely smooth, and they did incorporate the dribble text texturing there, but it's much more random in terms of how it's implemented on the shoe. You can see it a little bit more clearly when it reflects on the light. Hopefully you guys can see exactly what I'm trying to show you here on camera. But like I said, to the touch, the actual texturing itself is much less significant, and in terms of the grip it would provide on the ball, I would expect that to be a lot less significant as well in comparison to the standard F50 colors. Is this a major performance difference? Honestly, no. You wouldn't notice too big of a difference between this shoe and the standard F50s as far as colorways go, but it is something worth noting if you were planning on getting a pair of these to wear, or you already have a pair and you're trying to decide whether or not to wear this pair or go for a regular colorway. Again, I don't think it matters too much, but it is something to consider if you do have a pair or you're planning on getting some. Central lacing system, as you guys can see, that has not changed whatsoever. Internal plastic heel counter. It pretty much features the exact same heel liner, this being a smooth synthetic material with no graphic, as opposed to what you will find in the form of a graphic on the standard F50s. The insole is fully removable. I'll give you guys a quick look at that. It does feature a mesh lining as opposed to a synthetic suede, which again, not a major difference there. You're going to find that white Adidas graphic on the heel, and then it's just made from a standard layer of foam. Again, exactly the same as what you would find on a standard pair of F50s. And then moving on to the sole plate, it of course does have the new 2015 F50 adizero sole plate and stud pattern. It's a thinner plastic material that offers some pretty good flexibility, and of course you get their new firm ground stud pattern, which is what I would consider to be a significantly more aggressive than what we've seen on the F50 adizero since 2010 when it initially released. So if you're looking for very aggressive traction on firm natural grass playing surfaces, this stud pattern is definitely going to deliver. So that's pretty much it as far as tech specs and what you should know regarding the overall performance of the F50. It's a pretty straightforward shoe in terms of what you see see is what you get. It's thin, it's lightweight, it fits well, it has a tighter fit overall, and it's pretty comfortable considering how light it actually is. So with that being said, that's it as far as tech specs go, and we'll move on to a quick weigh-in so we can see how lightweight these things are. As far as weight is concerned, while these are technically the same shoe, I thought it'd be fun to compare the weight of the standard F50 to that of the tattoo pack colorway that I have right here. So keep in mind that these are both in brand new condition and both the exact same size 9 US. We'll start off with the solar red colorway, throw it on the scale, and you can see that they weigh in at 7.15 ounces, which is the equivalent of 203 grams. So remember that number, take that off the scale, and we'll throw on the tattoo pack colorway, and you can see that these guys weigh in at 6.9 ounces, so they're a little bit lighter. That's the equivalent of 196 grams. I'm not sure why there is a 0.25 ounce weight difference between these two shoes. Is this significant? Not really. You're not going to notice a difference in weight either in hand or on feet, but it is definitely something interesting to point out regarding these two shoes. And I guess if you really did want the lightest possible pair of F50s, this is the lightest variation you can get your hands on at the moment. Although, like I said, the weight is definitely not going to be much of an impact in terms of what you'll actually be able to notice when these things are on your feet. But that's pretty much it as far as the weigh-in portion of the video goes, and move on next to a quick on feet so we can get a better idea as to how these shoes look, and of course what the fit and sizing is like. Alright, so here is a look at the Tattoo F50s on feet. As you guys can see, I swapped out the stock black laces for some SR4U replacement laces. On my right foot I have the reflective light blue color, and on my left foot I have the reflective red color. I think it just adds a little bit of extra flair that this shoe doesn't necessarily need, but if you ask me personally, I really like the look of the extra contrast in the laces as opposed to just leaving them plain black like you get from the stock laces. If you guys are interested in a pair of replacement SR4U laces for yourself, check out the website sr4ulaces.com. It'll be linked in the description of this video. In terms of how these things fit and feel on feet, they feel like a standard pair of 2015 F50 adizeros. It has a tighter fit overall. The hybrid touch is soft, it's flexible, and it's pretty comfortable from right out of the box. Being that it is a tighter fitting shoe, I would say that it does have a slightly wider fit in comparison to last year's F50. So these will be suitable for a wide variety of foot types. If you have really wide feet, it still probably isn't the best option for you, but as long as you don't normally struggle with the width of your soccer shoes, you shouldn't have too many issues with the 2015 F50. Even the hybrid touch itself, as you start to wear them in, becomes softer and will actually give a little bit as far as width is concerned. So even if they're really snug from out of the box, it's not too big a deal because, like I said, they will give a little bit once you start to wear these things. As far as sizing is concerned, I'm wearing my usual size 9 US here, and the fit and the length is absolutely perfect. So if you are looking to order a pair of these for yourself, I would strongly recommend going true to size in order to get the best possible fit. So that's pretty much it as far as how these things look on feet, and I'll leave you to my final thoughts. Alright guys, that's it for my review of the Tattoo F50 adizero. Definitely a really interesting shoe. It's one of those colorways that you're either going to love or hate, as the actual colorway itself would suggest. I think it's a cool collector's piece. I really am a big fan of how these things look. Would I actually want to wear a pair myself? Probably not, but if you're a fan of flashy shoes, then this is definitely one of those colorways of the F50 that you have to get your hands on. Because like I said, the detail, the quality of the graphic, and just the overall appearance of the shoe, I think, is top notch for something that is really over the top. If that's what you're into, you probably are going to love the look and feel of the Tattoo Pack F50 adizero. Again, if you guys want to see the detailed images of this shoe that I took myself, that'll give you a better idea as to how these actually do look in person. Check out the review page on my website. It's the first link down below in the description. Again, these things were limited to only 1,500 pairs worldwide, so they sold out everywhere in the first day. So if you are looking to get a pair for yourself, eBay is your best bet at this point. But again, keep in mind you most likely will have to pay over retail if you are buying from a reseller. If you guys have any questions regarding this shoe or questions in general, leave them down below in the comment section. I definitely will get an answer out to you. Any suggestions as well, leave them down below in the comments. Took a look at everything you guys have to say. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. And as always, thanks for watching.